Right. Hello, everybody. You're very welcome at a 12:05 on, I think it's Wednesday. I put the bins out. That's kind of how I know what day it is. I am going to run through a presentation today on about how to raise your visibility. There will be a Q&A at the end. I will also share with you at the end a few things that you can do right now to start to raise your profile. So like I said, you're all very welcome, whether you're here live or watching on the replay. That is just I just so appreciate your time. So let me share this. I do that. Now, hopefully you can see a presentation on your screen. I think I got the hang of this tonight, but there we go. Right. Okay. You aren't getting the visibility you deserve. Why is that? This is my new masterclass. This is the third time of offering. And again, it's something I have been wanting to run for absolutely ages. So it's here now. And again, everybody is so welcome, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And it's helping, business leaders, owners, entrepreneurs, people, whether you're in a 9 to 5 or running your own thing at the minute. And I just really enjoy helping you get visible, and I really want to help you to succeed. So this is really just about, trying to maybe just give you that extra push to step forward and, start to do what it is that you really ultimately want to do. There are a few key steps to take. And, I'm going to share with you today just how I've helped people just like you take action to raise their visibility and build their credibility. And again, I just appreciate your time. So thank you so much for being part of this. I'll appreciate all your feedback afterwards as well. And if you see me glancing up, I'm just trying to keep a wee eye on the waiting room as well. So who am I? I know some of you on the call today, some of you watching on the replay. Well, I'm Sarah McCracken. I have been doing PR for about 25 years now, and I just absolutely love it. I love the campaigning side of things. I love getting things into the media. I love prepping people for interviews, all the PR things. And I have set up my own business. I've been going full-time at it now since last October, offering you online and in-person training, one-to-one coaching, interim support. Like I'm currently doing a 3-day-a-week contract at the minute between now and the end of June. So if you need that spare pair of hands, here I am. I do PR, public affairs, crisis comm, strategy development, and again, bespoke. I've worked with like an international beauty company for that. Or I can do like a standard how to write a press release training, which I've delivered quite, really successfully for Westminster Insight, Go Succeed, and some other organisations. Believe it or not, I have done a lot of PR training to PR people, working with PR agencies, working with officers at different levels, as well as working with individual companies. Like I did a session with a UK-wide charity, for example, looking at their internal communications and how we could improve that. So there's lots in that. That's just a wee bit about me. And yes, if we're friends on LinkedIn, you'll see it all there as well. So does this sound familiar? And it's, I don't know where to start when it comes to raising my profile. And I hear it all the time from, the many people I've worked with over the years. And, I have been there as well. It is hard to take that first step. It is hard to get going. And, there's a lot to this. And it's linked to what I call the what ifs. It's, what if I mess up? What if I come across like a total idiot? That's me. What if I don't do things properly? What is properly? What if someone thinks my idea is stupid? And there's so many what ifs. And, if you're like me, you can feel really totally overwhelmed at times and just don't know where to start. But don't panic. And can I just say, your idea is class, by the way. And it's about speaking it into existence. What if someone thinks it's stupid? Well, so what? They're probably not your target customer anyway. They're probably not somebody you ever want to work with. Let's not annoy ourselves. So this session is for you if any of these things apply. It's, if you don't know where to start, if you're worried about what other people will think, if you see other businesses or people out there and you think that should be me, I do that quite a lot. And, if you want that tried and tested strategy, and just above all, don't panic. I can help you with all of these things. And these things can apply to many different roles and businesses. You might be wanting to move jobs or get a promotion. I've worked with people who've done that. You might be wanting to showcase your business or service. These are the fundamentals that I can guide you through, and they're all the same when it comes to raising your visibility and your profile. So I've spoken to like literally hundreds of people over the years, and there's reasons why they're failing to raise the profile. And it's things like, they don't know where to start. So there's no action taken at all. Or they jump ahead into doing stuff. It's a real scattergun approach that doesn't lead to much. And like this applies to businesses as well as people. You're so caught up in the doing, it's really hard just to take that step back and really understand what it is you want to achieve. Their comms approach isn't aligned to their business planning. So what's the point? The two absolutely must go hand in hand. And they lack that structured approach to raising their profile and getting visible. And, this all adds up to just to missing opportunities because you just don't know what to do. It's just that, that constant sort of churn that goes on in your head. And it all adds up to feeling like you're failing. And this is one of the reasons why I've been wanting to run this masterclass for so long. And it's also why I have developed a really comprehensive visibility training, which I'll come on to later on. I'll tell you about that in a wee bit more detail. But what I just really want to do is give you that confidence to raise your profile in whatever it is that you want to do. So you've heard about me, but before we go any further, I would just love to know a little bit more about you in the chat. You DM me directly if you're feeling shy, or else pop it in the chat. What is it that you do? And is there something in particular that I can help you with about being bold and being seen and just getting your visibility sorted? Feel free, please, to share links to your LinkedIn, to your businesses, to your Instagram accounts. And that's your first step to getting visible. It's really, really simple. Let's do it together. And again, in terms of what you want to know about, I mean, that'll help me sort of maybe answer some of your queries as we go along and tailor what it is that we're going to say. And we will finish that Q&A. So let me run to the chat. Who is frantically typing? Tell me what it is you do. I know some of you do, but the rest of you don't know what you do. I had a lady on the last call. She was in South Africa. I mean, how cool is that? So if you're somewhere like hot and sunny at the minute, do let us know. It was about -3 the last time I delivered this. So she was sat there in her shirt sleeves in South Africa. So that was nice. I had a lady before on, I think she was in Brussels. That was pretty awesome. So here we go. Right, twofold. Trying to get some tips for a charity I volunteer for to develop their comms and marketing, and also to promote myself as currently looking for new paid opportunities. There's right there, Laura, paid opportunities. So yeah, again, there's lots of rules out there, but again, it's how can we position you in the right place for that as well. So that is brilliant. If you want to tell us a bit more about the charity, we would be happy to support that as well. If not, that is absolutely fine. Who else is out there? Tell me what it is you do. There's another one in the meeting room. So welcome to anybody just joining us. If you just want to keep your camera off, because I'm recording this for YouTube. And if you'd like to just drop in the chat, because you're very shy today. What is it you do? And is there something in particular I can help you with about being bold and saying, oh, Bright Path CIC, a charity promoting children's mental health. Brilliant. Actually, I was involved in charity recently, a young person's led charity, just linked to that very subject. It is so badly needed. So we have a colleague who is employed in comms and marketing, so that could always do with a boost from aside from that. Not good at promoting my personal brand. Plans to start a podcast. Excellent. So do I. Maybe we should collaborate. And aware that you will need to promote that and yourself. Absolutely. And I know you're very good at comms and marketing as well. Yes, we got. Can you hear my dog has just started to howl? I know we've got the local where to guide there, so maybe if you want to drop some links into that. Oh, neurodiversity coaching and training. I would like to know how PR can help me and my business. Absolutely, I can certainly help you with that. Goodness goodies, I am always looking for new customers who would want to buy the range of products that I import and distribute. However, I'm never really sure how to promote myself to get those new customers. Interesting. If you want to like put in a few wee links there to maybe your website or something, we can all have a good nosy at that. And Lorraine from Local Where To, an all-in-one platform for advertising businesses, events, jobs, etc. Currently trying to get more awareness for the platform to both onboard businesses and gain customer awareness. Good shout out. Absolutely. Everybody needs to go and check that. Pop your links in the chat and please start to connect up with each other because like we're all in this together. You know, we can all help each other out. Oh, here we go. We have Amanda Barr, breakup and divorce coach, keen to spread the word that such coaching is actually available to those who are experiencing breakup and divorce. Excellent, Amanda. You're the second divorce coach that I know. So yes, clearly a market for that. Please feel free to share your links. Great to have that sort of service available. And pluginmove.co.uk, we provide rentable power banks hosted in charging stations. We supply to businesses as well as individuals for weddings and events looking to raise profile and gain customer awareness. I've seen one of these power banks. They're dead cool, by the way. So everybody, please check that out as well. And there's definitely a link up there with the local where to guide as well there potentially as well. Brilliant. Right, those links are coming in, so we'll all have a wee look at that later on. And again, please support each other. So 3 things I am going to cover today. So first of all, what's stopping you from becoming more visible? What's missing when it comes to your visibility, and actions you can take right now to become more visible. So part 1, what's stopping you? And again, I say it all the time, so I just don't know where to start. Or the other bit is I'm doing bits, but it's not working. Again, that's not scatter about an approach. So in terms of not knowing where to start, let's start there. So what I find is that the consequence is there's no action at all, because if you're sat there feeling overwhelmed because it feels like there's so much to do, it leads to doing nothing. I don't mind telling you, I've been trying to manage my diary this morning and I've just been going around in a spiral. So where do you start with that? How do you take that first step to take an action when it comes to your visibility? Because if you don't take any action, you don't get any profile or visibility. And again, what would help would be to get some focus on clarity on where to put your efforts, reducing the overwhelm, because you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be on every social platform. You don't have to be on, every network and going. It's about focusing in as to where your target audience, where your clients might be, and really, putting all your efforts into that. And one of the best things to do first is just take that deep breath. Just pause for a minute, and then I'll be able to support you with that step-by-step approach. The second thing that stops people from becoming visible, and again, I haven't spoken with many people over the years, is that bits are being done, but overall the approach is failing. There's no clear purpose or focus. So things like, oh, I did a press release, but nobody picked it up, or I did some posts on Instagram and only got 3 likes. It's probably actually quite good. Instagram's really hard, by the way, but it's that kind of thing. You're doing stuff, and it does come back to not having a clear purpose or focus, and then that results in no profile or visibility. And again, I know it's really important to get clarity on where to put your effort as you want to succeed, and you want to have some, some outcome for your efforts as well. And again, taking a step-by-step approach really helps with that. And I know the struggle is real. I have tried many different types of approaches over the past year or so, and it takes a while to figure out the best way to do things. From my own journey as now running my own business, I've tried all the different platforms. I've tried, I've tried Instagram, I've tried Facebook groups, but what I have found is LinkedIn is working well for me. It might be different for you, but again, it's only by trying these different things and finding that they don't work, and then focusing your efforts back into something else, will then start to raise your profile and visibility on those particular platforms. Sorry, excuse me, let me just let somebody else in there. Brilliant. And again, welcome to anybody who is joining us again right now. So, talked about the doing bits failing. We've talked about the overwhelm of where to get started, and I keep saying I have a plan for this. So does my step-by-step approach work? Yes, it does. And I've been taking a similar structured approach with all the companies I've ever worked for and the individuals that I have worked for as well. So I have all these testimonials on my LinkedIn account. You're very welcome to go and look at them then. But this is a lady I worked with. She's got a cracking podcast now. If it's called Policy 360, if you're into anything to do with politics. So Ellen came to me when she needed to develop a PR plan for her podcast. So we started right at the beginning. What was the outcome she wanted to achieve? And we helped then develop a plan around that. We worked step by step through setting goals, working out who our audience was and our messaging, and then getting into the tactics of actually doing it. And my comms colleagues on the call will know that everybody jumps to the tactics, but let's spend some time up front on your outcomes, your goals, your messaging, your audience, and then the rest will flow from that. So underpinning all of this was a clear focus. And this second lovely testimonial came from a lady called Naomi, and she needed some help with writing press releases to boost her visibility. So she worked through my step-by-step, it's an online press release training course, and then she was able to write her first press release. And because I really want you to succeed, I asked her to send it to me when she had her first draft written. It was absolutely brilliant. So she was able to get that into the world. And then she got the coverage that she needed. I mean, it was just terrific. And this is a more recent one. This is Jenny. So again, I worked with her on a one-to-one basis. She was able to set what it is she wanted to achieve. We talked through the different options for her, and then it was just about giving that confidence then to start to post more on LinkedIn, and then how to apply it to her workplace situation as well. So moving on to part 2, it's what's missing when it comes to your visibility. So you're going to hear me talk about plans an awful lot. I do love a plan. It's about also missing is not being clear what you're saying. And again, lacking that confidence to take action. And again, for me, a lot of it comes down to that lack of confidence to take action. But if you have a plan and some clarity, that'll give you a really good foundation to start on, and you'll give you that confidence to take that next step. So starting with not having a plan, right? I love a plan. Okay, I'm talking about a plan on a page here, not War and Peace, not 10 chapters that you're never ever going to read. And I find it really helps me personally to see things written down. So maybe you prefer stuff visualized in a diagram, whatever works for you. But if you don't have a plan, then how are you going to achieve your goal of raising your profile and becoming more visible? A goal without a plan is just a wish. It's your roadmap of how to get your destination. This is where I should have up on the screen like some quotation or something. But if you don't have that plan, nobody is going to know about you, as you won't be taking action to raise your profile. And your competitors then will be better known about you. And again, just in terms of my planning, this is a lovely testimonial from my colleague Nuala, who again we've worked with on a number of events over the years. And we sit down at the start of every session and we start with the plan on a page. What is the outcome we're trying to achieve? Who's the target audience and why it's important to them? And then we start to build our event around that. And that just makes sure it's tailored to what their needs happen to be. And again, she'll tell you there'll be a plan on a page by the time that we're done. So I've seen this a lot over the years as well, and it's about being clear in what you're saying. So think about what you do yourself. So you're sat on your phone, of an evening, glass of wine, cup of tea, whatever you fancy, and you're scrolling on Instagram, for example, and you pause and you watch something. And if it doesn't catch your eye, if it's not clear on what the person is on about within seconds, you then start to scroll on. Think about all the emails that you get in from stuff that you subscribe to. Particularly guilty of that one, I have to say. I have put my notes here, not work emails. You can't unsubscribe from those. You might just want to put them straight in the bin, but don't hold me to that. But again, you've all this stuff coming in, and you glance at it if you even open it. Do you know how many unread emails from stuff you've signed up to, webinars that are happening, what's going on in your world, and it's so overwhelming. We're constantly bombarded by this messaging, and it all starts to blur together. So again, you need to be really clear on what it is that you're saying. Otherwise, no one will hear you or read about you or understand what it is that you want to do. The wrong people will hear about you. It won't be clear about what you actually do. So your customers won't hear about you, and they won't know what it is you do. Whether that's in the media or whether it's online, it might start to put some of your customers off as well if they don't know what it is that you do. You know what it's like when you go to you want to know if something's open, or if you want to know about something that you want to buy, and you Google it, and you maybe can't find a website for it, or maybe you can't, their socials isn't up to date. So again, is what you're saying really clear on the platforms that your potential audience is using? And you need to then just take it from there. So I mean, I used to work for an organization in the education sector when I worked with Rachel. I mean, it was brand new, and our stakeholders, the schools, didn't know about us. So I had to devise messaging that was really clear on what we were about, so our target audience, the school principals, who are a really, really tough act, would want to know what it is we do, that they would read our newsletters going out, that they would engage with our staff. So again, it was all about that clarity of message. And again, you have loads of things to say. That's another thing. It's like, oh, I don't know what to say. I guarantee 5 minutes, you and I'll have something all mapped out in terms of what it is that you want to talk about. So like I said, having a clear messaging, having a plan and clear messaging, it just sort of exacerbates that lack of confidence to take action. And you spend all this time worrying about, oh, what will people say? So if you're sat there right now thinking, oh, I have this idea, but what will people say? Right, write down the names of those people in your notebook right now, and see if you can actually name them. Who are they? Are they your target customer? If they're not, well, who cares what they think? If they're people that you've just made up, well, they don't count. And if it's actual genuine people who are going to be mean, send them to me. I'll sort them out for you. That's no problem at all. But the thing is, see, when you start to tell people what it is that you want to do, your supporters will be cheering you on absolutely 100% off the way. And again, I've experienced this. It's like, oh, I want to set up this business that does PR training. Well, here, Sarah, that's a class idea. Why haven't you done it sooner? That was some of the feedback I got. I'll be cheering you on as well. So tell me what it is you really, really want to do. Sometimes people I've worked with, this drives me nuts, they think they're not good enough. And I can tell you right now that they were absolutely brilliant. I know lots of people on this call are absolutely brilliant. They have a fantastic idea. They're really good at what they do. And again, it's just about having that confidence to take action. And once you get it, you're not going to be stopping. And just to remind you, nobody else is going to raise your profile except you. I mean, I can help you with it all. I can do the planning, help you with the messaging, the media, the social media. But what comes down to it, it's actually you that have to make the decision that you're going to do it and then actually do it. And again, you can buy in services to help. You can buy in somebody to help write your content and schedule your socials, but it still comes down to you having that drive and that confidence to take action. I mean, I love seeing people succeed. So this is Gail. Gail has started a podcast, and it's called Cracking Commitment. It's about, actually, for our divorce coach on the call, maybe you should listen to this one. It's about people who are still married, but maybe there's a conversation you could have with Gail on her podcast. So connections and visibility opportunities are everywhere. But Gail and I met through, I did a presentation to a business club, and I was really frustrated with some of the feedback I was hearing from the ladies on the call about, oh, do you know what, just, and I'd love to do this, but what if, and, what if, so I have an online visibility training. It's really short, like, covers what's in this masterclass. So I shared that with them and they undertook it, and Gail subsequently launched her podcast. She says here she'd been sitting on the idea of launching her podcast, but it always felt like a someday project. So she found the confidence, she did my training, found the confidence, took the leap and launched it weeks later. So I mean, that's just like, oh, I was so excited to hear that. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, go and listen to that podcast as well. And again, all these testimonials are on my LinkedIn. So just a couple of minutes now with some suggestions about how we can bring this all together. The getting started, the focus, the planning, the messaging, clarity, and the confidence. I am going to introduce you to a Get Visible training. Then I'm going to give you some actions that you can take right now. And then we're going to have our Q&A. So this is my visibility then, and it's about, when you raise your profile, more people will know about your brilliant self and your products and services, or those future employers, or whatever it happens to be. That positive reputation will lead to better credibility and trust with your customers. And just a reminder, if you have a shoddy reputation, no amounts of PR or visibility or credibility raising is going to sort that out. You will get found out. And, your increased visibility then will lead to, that better perception of you and your business, leading to more sales. Again, think about when you're Googling something, when you're looking for a new product or service, it's like, oh, yes, I see that online. And then you read a bit more. And imagine if that was an article in the local paper, for example. Imagine if you had some really good feedback, on a podcast or online as well. But it all comes together, and you're right in the center of it. Remember, if it's not you, then who? You're in the middle of it. You're leading this because you're absolutely brilliant. And just, I've talked about some of the brilliant women I've worked with, and this slide just really outlines the process that I tend to run them through, that we follow. So again, it's starting with the outcome. What is the outcome you want to achieve? Everything ties back to that. And it can change, that's absolutely fine. But if you don't have that, then you're just taking that scattergun approach and you're just doing stuff that's not going to achieve anything. And then it's back to that feeling like a failure. So some of the outcomes: gone ahead and clicking. Some of the outcomes are things that I've helped people with would be, I want a new job. I want to position myself as the expert. I want to increase my sales. I want to launch a podcast. I've got a couple of those in the call. That's brilliant. I want my audience to know about my business or organization. Again, you tell me what the outcome is. We can tie everything back to that. And then the next step is clarifying who you want to talk to, because your audience is not the whole world. It's going to be a particular subset of the population. So if you're looking at a new job, you want to talk to people within that industry and sector that you want to work in. If you want to, if you're a divorce coach, there's a very specific subset of people that you're going to want to be talking to. We need to go and find them. Likewise, if you're starting a podcast, depending on the subject, who your potential guests going to be, who you're going to be talking to through that medium of podcasting. You then have to decide what you want to say, and that's your story. And again, no, I'm not very exciting. I'm a bit boring. No, you're not. You're going to have a brilliant story. You don't have to have climbed Mount Kilimanjaro blindfold or whatever it happens to be to have a good story. It's about, why did you start your business? Why? Who have you helped in the past? What have you achieved? Or maybe you've won an award, or maybe you just want to create a better life for yourself and your family. Anything goes, but it's your story, and then we can work through how we're going to tie that all back into the outcome you want to achieve. And then we build a plan, because, spoiler, I'll have a plan, but again, it's just that tangible plan on a page that you can then start to refer back to. And, when you've achieved one of your objectives, you can take it off, and then we can create a new one, and you can then start to see what you're achieving, build. So, before we get on to the Q&A, and the things that I can do, I'm really excited about this. I just want to introduce my brand new training program. And again, it is something I have been wanting to do for a really, really long time. I've designed a group training program called Be Bold, Be Seen, Get Visible. And through this, I just want to help as many people as possible get the confidence to raise their visibility and profile. And yes, there'll be a plan produced. Please get a plan. Anyway, some details just about it, just to share with you today. It's step by step working with me through a group training that will ultimately give you the confidence to get the visibility and profile that you absolutely deserve in whatever sphere of work that you happen to be in. I'm planning to start it in and around Wednesday, the 3rd of March of this year, running for 7 weeks, and it would be online live training plus all the support that you would need. Just to run through what we would do on it, and I will email out further details, obviously, after this, once I get them written down. But week 1 is all about that vision setting, outcome setting, trying to start to get that planning framework in place, and just really identifying your goals. And it's not about sharing them with the group necessarily, but it's that safe space where you can start to articulate what it is that you want to achieve. So that would be the first step. Then we talk as well about how to identify your audience. I've just alluded to that a little bit, but again, it's different for each person depending what it is that you want to achieve. So I've got loads of tools available for that. Stakeholder mapping, ideal customer development, how to find your audience is really important as well. We'll talk about all of that. Social media strategy. Now, here's the secret: you don't need to be on every single platform. You don't need to do TikTok dances unless you really, really want to. There's no judgments. But again, it's building on where your audience is. So you don't need to be on every platform if it's not serving you. So I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn personally. It's done wonders for my profile, for my visibility. Instagram, not so much. Networking is really fundamental as well. It's an essential part of building your visibility. So it could be attending events, joining online communities. Coming to this masterclass today has helped raise your visibility. Like, we've already got some connections going on there in the chat. I mean, it's just brilliant. But, connecting with people in your industry, connecting with your target audience, it takes time to build your network, but it's so important. And I personally think networking is a skill that can be learnt. So again, talking about things like, what's your elevator pitch? That moment when you go around the table and tell me what it is you do, and you're frantically thinking, what is it you do? Well, elevator pitches, looking at barriers to attending, finding events, again, networking without the cringe. We can maybe just call it that. Again, like I said, it's a skill that you can learn. We'd look at building your visibility through the media. all fun stuff. Not necessarily talking and going about, the news at 10, unless you really want to, we'll sort that out as well. But there's lots of opportunities out there. If you have a product or service of promoting it through the media, maybe through Q&As, maybe through something like, or a feature piece, something like that. So we'll cover all of that as well. Events and speaking engagements. Again, a great way to get your message out to a larger audience. Like I've already mentioned, I spoke to a business group that led to Gail setting up her podcast. So there's all sorts of different ways to do this. You could be going to conferences, giving lectures, participating on websites, podcasts, speaking to business groups, wherever your audience hangs out. And again, it all ties back to your outcome that you want to achieve, your vision, and where your audience hangs out. So again, I've been helping people speak at events for years, and I get loads of tools you can take off me in terms of how to build what it is you want to say, how to present yourself, and how to say what it is that you want to say. And then just like a party week at the end, I think I'm going to call this, just evaluating how far you've come. Reflecting is key, so celebrating your wins, although we would do that along the way. And again, just making sure everybody has that plan in place for going forward into the future. And again, once we're friends, you don't get rid of me that easily. I'll always be here in the end of the phone or at the end of a LinkedIn DM, just to help people along. So here's how it'll work. Weekly live training, possibly lunch and learn, maybe an evening session, whatever works for the majority. All the workbooks, templates, pitch docs you could ever want, I have them all built up over the last 25 years. Private pop-up group Facebook. I'm a bit not sure about Facebook at the minute. Anyway, there's a lot of news about that at the minute. But yeah, there'll probably be a pop-up Facebook group. Because I'm not sure where else to put it at this point in time. Access to me if you have any questions, and by the end of 7 weeks, you're just going to have unbelievable confidence to get your plan of action and just that clarity. You'll have a raised profile, you'll have a brilliant network. You'll be pitching to podcasts. It'll just all add up to having better visibility. So just to recap, it's the first time I have run this. So the investment is really, really low. And I've pitched it in at £349 for 7 weeks of training. So that's about £50 a session. The first 10 people to book on will get a one-to-one session with me that you can take at any time. It doesn't have to be right now. So maybe in 6 months' time after you've done the training, you might have a question, or you might be working on something for your employer, or you might be working on something for your business. We can get our heads together and talk about the PR opportunities around that. So in terms of booking in, what I'm inviting people to do is to book just a 10-minute call with me, just to make sure that we're a really good fit. I can answer all your questions. I will take you through the training in a lot more detail, and just make sure then that you get your one-to-one bonus as well, and just answer any questions that you have. So that is a QR code that takes you to my online diary. If anything in that doesn't suit, drop me a message, email or LinkedIn or something like that, and we'll sort something else out as well. So thank you for listening to that. I hope. Yeah, I'd appreciate your feedback on that as well. Is that hitting the mark? Could I amend anything? Is anything missing? Could anything be added in? Because it is training to help people just like you and me, just to succeed and get that visibility. Anyway, we're going to move on now. 3 actions that you can take right now, and then we're going to talk about we're going to have Q&A. So if I was you right now, these are the 3 things that I would be doing if they're not already in place. And first of all, let's clarify what it is that you do. So I use this format, and it's I am and I help so that. It's really, really simple. So let me give you an example. I am Sarah McCracken, and I am a PR expert. I help entrepreneurs and business leaders to gain confidence so that they can make 2025 the year of taking action to get visible. So I hope that then you can see how then that works. So the beauty about this, once you have that, is you can use it in your social media. So the second thing I would encourage you to do is go and check your social channels. Look at your bios on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever you hang out, and make sure that they're optimized. Add in your clarity statement somewhere, the one that you've just written based on I am and I. And that'll help tell your audience what it is that you do. And again, you can develop different posts around that. You can maybe do a post once a week about what it is that you could do. You could do some videos in your stories, for example. But you now have a foundation, you now have that clarity about what you do. and you can start to use that in your social medias. But yeah, make sure your LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever you hang out is optimized and up to date. That's an action you could do this afternoon. And you can do some networking. So this masterclass today has already been a networking opportunity, and there are so many opportunities out there online and in person. I am particularly loving the FSB Women's Networking at the minute. There's other also local networking events. That's where I've met some of you already, which is just fantastic. So they could be in person, they could be networking. You'll find a load of stuff on LinkedIn as well in terms of networking events. Eventbrite's worth a trawl as well. So loads out there. And again, if you're going on your own, don't let that stop you, because there'll be other people there on their own as well. Go in, get the tea, get the coffee, get the scone, and just, you've got your clarity statement of what you do, and just start chatting to people. You know, talk about the weather. Do you know, we're on the UK here. We always talk about the weather. How's their, you know, have they got a cat? Have they got a dog? So many things that you could be talking about, and then just let the conversation flow from there. So I hope that's helpful. So I can't wait. If you want to share your clarity statement once you get them written with me, please do that. I look forward to seeing your updated social medias as well, and hopefully see you all at some online or in-person networking. So time check, 12:40. Let's have a wee Q&A. Are there any questions you would like to ask based on what I've talked about today in terms of your visibility or PR in general? Anything goes, to be perfectly honest, because that's the best way to for me to help you. If you have to dip off, that's no problem either. I appreciate your time, and it is lunchtime, and I'm drinking tea here. Yes, you have to go, Maddie. Bye, nice to see you. I will catch up with you very, very soon. But yeah, any questions, drop them in the chat. Will I get a wee sip of tea? He's cold. This isn't a good start at all. I could probably run a masterclass on how to make a cup of tea, to be honest. So while I'm waiting, or DM me your question if you're feeling a wee bit shy. So some of the questions I have had in recently are things like, you know, but like where do I start? And it's hard to say just at the beginning, but it's also, again, look at your business plan. So what do you want to achieve through your business? And that is how that's what your PR needs to align to. They're not two separate things. So if you have an ambition to be sell whatever product it happens to be, you need to then start to look at how can your communications help. So again, that's your social media platforms. It's understanding what magazines your target audience read, what newspapers do they read, things like that. So start at that beginning and make sure it's all aligned to your PR. Oh, Lorraine, my calendar isn't showing any openings. I am very sorry about that. I will update it as soon as I'm off the call and give you a shout. Is that all right? Sorry, yes. Sort of had got that up to date. I tend to do it for the month ahead, just we must be coming to near the end of January for that. So I will do that, Lorraine, and I will look forward to speaking to you. Thank you very much. So anybody watching this and replay that should now work. Okay, the other question or the other feedback that I get a lot from speaking in business groups is like, oh, I don't like social media. No. Well, I love social media. Lots of people don't like social media, but it's not about you. It's about your business, product, or service, and it's about trying to create, trying to develop your business. So it's not about you per se. It's about your product service. I just said that. It's about your product, service, or business. So when you're creating content, say you're on Instagram, and the example I always use is, say you are say you manufacture dog collars and dog leads and dog accessories. I don't know why, this is always my example. You need to think about who your target audience is, so you can visualize them, and you need to understand where they are. So they're probably on TikTok, they're probably a young couple, pre-children, in their 30s potentially, and the dog's a subject grandchild. So you need to understand where they are, but the content that you're creating is about your products and services for them to consume. So it's not about you per se. So you do need to do it. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to, but you can be creating lovely little stories, lovely little reels, showing dogs out for a walk, showing your products, showing those lovely coloured dog leads or whatever they happen to be. And likewise as well, if you're on LinkedIn, really good business to business platform. But again, it's creating that content that your target audience is going to want to read about, as well as the more personal engaging stuff. as well. So social media, you just have to do it. And to be honest, it's the best way to get to your customer directly. Once upon a time, many years ago, I did Avon. Very briefly, because I kept buying all the stuff for myself, like I never made any money at it. But that was literally, if you remember, it was catalogs through doors. So think about how many catalogs you have to put through a door within your community, make a couple of sales versus the potential power to reach thousands of people on social media. So it's a brilliant, brilliant tool. Needs must align it to your business, align it to what you want to achieve, and then that kind of negates that. So I have a question here. I follow many MLAs, so that's local politicians. How best would I do LinkedIn posts to attract their attention for meaningful conversations? It's a really good question. If you were here at the beginning, you'll have seen me talk about the Policy 360 podcast. I would encourage you to listen to that, because politicians on that do give a lot of really good examples of how to engage with them. Couple of things in that. First of all, is LinkedIn the best way to attract their attention, or would a more direct approach be better? But I would say doing content that aligns with them. So I'm thinking if you're doing environmental content, you're going to want to attract the attention of environmental spokespeople, potentially the environment minister. So maybe you've run an event that there's MLAs been attended, so you've got their photograph and you've tagged them in it. That's a good way to get their attention. If it is, maybe the content is in and around something environmental and they've spoken to it in a committee or in an assembly question, for example, you could create some content around that. And it's, Minister Muir said X, Y, and Z in session today, and we're, appreciative of what he said, something like that. So you could tag them. Don't use it to have a go. Don't air your dirty laundry in public, but I would keep it positive, because if you start to go negative, they're just going to blank you. Think as well, it's back to the conversation earlier about think about when you're scrolling and what's going to catch their attention in particular, but keep it upbeat. I would personally keep it upbeat, keep it positive, showcase the events that your politicians have attended, or write really good content that they're going to want to engage with. But I would really consider actually a direct approach with them as well. There's a lot of politicians on Blue Sky at the minute. I've discovered Blue Sky, so that's maybe worth a look at as well. So any other questions, apart from me now needing to go and sort out my calendar? Apologies for that. Any more questions before we head off? Before I stop recording, and then we can have a wee chat afterwards as well. Lots to think about. Yeah, there's always a lot to think about, but please do not let it overwhelm you. It's really, really hard. I have a great big long list here of things that I personally need to do to be raising my profile. And again, it's just that, what's one thing that you could do today and get that off your list, and then each step goes by that. If you lack that confidence, back to social media, if you lack that confidence to make the post, it's like, so what? Like, maybe no, shouldn't say this, but very few people are going to see that first post. So get it written and get it out there, and then build from there. And the more consistently you post, the better the engagement, and the better the feedback is going to be as well. Now, we have one more thing in the chat. Oh, Local Where To are running a £100 giveaway to spend at any nominated business. I presume those are in Northern Ireland, Lorraine, on 10th and 2nd, 25. Enter your name and email, and you will also have the opportunity to win every month. I think I'm in that draw, so everybody go to that link there, please. If you're watching live, see it's for anywhere, so anywhere in the UK. So to read out the link for people who are watching the replay, it's Local Where To, so LOCALWHERE2, number 2.com, /I want to win. But yes, if you Google Local Where To, so that's LOCALWHERE number 2.com, you'll find all those details online. So there we go, folks. That's all I'm going to talk about today. Let me stop the recording, and look, thank you for your time and attention.